Have you ever been so excited to upgrade your floors you pull up the old carpet and then you see it, an old, rickety plank subfloor? You know, it really feels like a project killer, but I promise you it's not. In this explainer, we are going to walk through the exact steps to turn that tricky foundation into a beautiful, professional-looking laminate floor you can be proud of.
So, you're ready for a change. And you know what? A new laminate floor can completely transform a room. But then comes that moment of truth. You pull up the old carpet or vinyl and you find, well, not that smooth, modern plywood you were hoping for, but an old-school plank subfloor.
And right there, that's the core challenge, isn't it? It's the classic DIY showdown. On one side, you've got the dream, a stunning, seamless, modern floor. And on the other, the obstacle, a subfloor that's uneven, probably squeaky, and full of gaps. The good news? We can absolutely bridge that gap. And that's exactly what this plan is all about.
Okay, so first things first, let's really understand the challenge. Before you can fix a problem, you've got to know exactly what you're up against, and these old plank subfloors have a few quirks.
So what are we even talking about here? Well, a plank subfloor is basically the original version of a subfloor. They're just long wooden boards nailed right onto the floor joists. Those are the support beams underneath. Now, unlike modern plywood or OSB sheets that create one huge solid surface, these are all individual planks. And that means they can all move independently.
And that independent movement, well, that's the root of every single problem. It's what leads to those annoying squeaks, the gaps between boards, and those random high and low spots. But here is the most critical takeaway of this whole section. If you just lay your beautiful new laminate right over these issues, your new floor will eventually warp. It'll develop gaps, and all of your hard work will be for nothing. This makes one thing crystal clear. Preparation is everything. Okay, now that we understand the enemy, it's time to gear up. You know, every successful project starts with having the right stuff on hand. So let's assemble our toolkit for a flawless installation.
Look, for a really professional finish, a few of these tools are absolutely non-negotiable. Of course, for precision, you're going to need a tape measure and a saw. But the real MVPs for this job, a tapping block and a pull bar. These are your best friends for getting those planks perfectly tight without damaging them. And of course, a level is essential for hunting down those high and low spots before you even start laying the floor.
Now, beyond the laminate planks themselves, the underlayment is your secret weapon, for real. It adds cushion, it deadens sound, and it hides minor little flaws in the subfloor. Just as important, especially if you're working over a damp basement or crawl space, is a vapor barrier. Think of it as cheap insurance against moisture damage. And finally, some wood filler or floor patch. This is what's going to help you create that perfectly smooth canvas to work on.
And that brings us to, without a doubt, the single most critical phase of this entire project, subfloor prep. I'm serious, this isn't just a step, it is where the battle is won or lost. The work you do right here is what separates a shoddy amateur job from a rock-solid professional one.
You know, this quote from our source material just says it all. You can have the most expensive, beautiful laminate money can buy, but if the foundation underneath is shaky, the whole project is compromised. This is the one step you absolutely cannot afford to rush.
So how do you do it right? It's actually a pretty simple four-step process. First, inspect. Walk every single inch. Get down on your hands and knees and look for issues. Next, repair. Don't just secure loose boards. If you see any water damage or rot, you've got to replace that board. Third, level the surface. A long, straight 2x4 can act as a giant level to help you spot those high and low areas. And finally, clean. And I mean really clean. Even a tiny pebble can create a bump you will feel later.
Okay, with a perfectly prepped, solid, clean subfloor, it is time for the reward. This is the fun part, where you finally get to see all that hard work pay off as you start laying the new floor.
But wait, hold on. Before you lay a single plank, you have to let the material acclimate. You're going to leave the unopened boxes of laminate in the room for at least 48 hours. This lets the planks adjust to your home's specific temperature and humidity. If you skip this, they can expand or shrink after you install them, and that's a major cause of buckling and gaps.
Now, let's talk about that unsung hero again, the underlayment. You just roll it out one row at a time as you work. The key here is to have the edges meet perfectly, but never, ever overlap them, because that will create a ridge under your floor. Just tape the seams together, and you created this amazing cushion that makes a huge difference in the final feel and sound of the floor.
All right, this is the main event. First, plan your layout. You always want to stagger the seams between rows. It's not just because it looks better, it actually adds a ton of structural strength. You want to begin along the longest, most visible wall, using those little plastic spacers to maintain your expansion gap. Then, as you connect each plank, use your tapping block to get a really nice, tight fit. When you get to doorways or vents, just remember the golden rule: measure twice, cut once. The final touch? Reinstalling the baseboards. They'll hide that gap perfectly and give you that clean, finished look.
But hey, even the best plans can hit a snag, right? So let's quickly cover a few common pitfalls. Knowing what to look out for will help you handle any little challenge like a total pro. So you're walking on your brand new finished floor and you hear it, that little squeak. What went wrong?
Well, the solution here is all about prevention. This is exactly why that initial inspection in the prep stage is so critical. Before any underlayment ever touches the floor, you need to walk that entire subfloor and drive screws into any board that moves or makes a noise. Silence it for good.
Okay, here's another super common frustration. You finish a row, you look back, and you can see these tiny, annoying little gaps between your brand new planks.
And this is precisely why those specific tools are so important. Your tapping block and your pull bar are designed to gently but firmly nudge those planks together, closing those gaps for a perfectly seamless finish. The key is just to be patient and let the tools do the work. This is the one. This is the problem that strikes fear into the heart of every DIYer. You finish the job, everything looks perfect, and then a few weeks later, the floor starts to rise up or buckle in the middle.
The fix is actually so simple, and it goes all the way back to a crucial early step, that expansion gap. Laminate is what's called a floating floor, which means it needs space to expand and contract with changes in temperature and humidity. Without that little quarter-inch gap all the way around the edges, the floor will bind against the walls and buckle. Those little spacers, they're your insurance policy.
So what's the big takeaway here? Installing laminate over a plank subfloor isn't about brute force. It's about being methodical, paying attention, and being patient. As this quote suggests, if you really focus on getting that foundation right, the journey of transforming your space becomes just as rewarding as the final, beautiful result.
You now have the knowledge. You've got the step-by-step plan to tackle this project with total confidence. You can absolutely turn that tricky, uneven subfloor into a beautiful, solid foundation for a room you're going to love for years to come. So the only question left is, where are you going to start?